guys. If you're peddling for a foreign nation, don't you have to register as a foreign agent? So I'm just saying, all the talk and the moment it happens, bro.
Play that clip as well, Ron. Play that clip as well.
It literally doesn't matter. He can prep with whoever he wants. He can prep with Benny Morris if he wants. There is no what you support terrorism ? No, I don't. I don't support the state of Israel, and I don't support the state of the United States of America.
That's the 9/11 one, Pat?
Yeah, Rob, that's the wrong.
No, there is the 9/11
There's a clip where he says America deserves.
He tripled down.
What happened on 9/11, and he said something about capitalist blood.
Oh yeah, let it blood like soak their effing, kill them, put their blood in the streets. Pat, this is again all talk,
Anyway, all right, Darializa is here, everybody. Okay.
Hello.
1 second. Let's the thing won't work yet. But I am going to change the. I'm gonna. Okay. All right. Can you guys hear us? I believe it should be perfect now.
Hi, everyone.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the broadcast. Sorry,
Thanks for having me.
this is an interesting time to have you on, as I am in the crosshairs of the federal government, it seems. But I'm very excited to talk to you about a bunch of different things. We're going to be heading over to an undisclosed location later as well. But I wanted to make sure that instead of doing this interview in a loud environment, because a lot of people, including my editors, who always complain about me doing these interviews in loud environments and rallies and whatnot, I wanted to have you do a sit down for a brief moment before we move on, before we go somewhere else.
No, I really appreciate it.
And get to see your district as well. Right off the jump, thank you so much for coming on. What district are you running in?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for coming all the way to New York to talk.
Of course.
I am running in NY-13, that's uptown in the Bronx. And I'm just really excited to be able to build out a campaign that folks have been able to tap into organizing and be part of this movement with us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let me pull my notes real quick as well. I should have done that ahead of time, but I didn't do that.
You seem to be fielding a lot of comments all the time, so.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Also, there are apparently there's Fox News reporters that are embedded on the broadcast that just like spend every waking moment just simply logging whatever I'm saying. Maz, you put out the fundraiser link, right? You think our mic is on backwards?
Oh, is it on backwards?
Harder to hear?
Can you guys hear me? Should I change it?
No, it's fine. It's just, is it harder to hear, chat, or no? Yeah, this is the lady who's watching the entire broadcast. She's like she's a senior digital news editor at the Fox News.
Wow.
And her job is to just like watch and, as a boomer, screen record my.
Wow, so we're watching the same screen recording? Is this what's happening?
She was apparently screen recording with her phone, with a shaky phone camera, like she's in a movie theater.
The quality here is actually kind
of she's in a fucking movie theater, filming the latest Michael Bay installation or something. But in any case, okay, here we go. Okay, don't look at my notes. Just don't pay attention.
You can see the reflection of the notes in my glasses.
Don't pay attention to the notes. No matter what you do. Darializa Avila Chevalier, am I saying that right?
You are.
Okay, is in the building. Palestine organizer running for NY-13. It's a D+32 district in Upper Manhattan and West Bronx. Upper Manhattan, including Harlem, right?
Harlem, Washington Heights,
Hell
Inwood,
yeah.
And then parts of the West Bronx, so Kingsbridge, Bedford Park, all that.
We can watch your launch video real quick. Let's start there.
I can watch that in a minute, actually.
Okay. Okay, we'll watch your launch video where you said, with Trump's authoritarianism at our doorstep and billionaire greed in our backyard, we need someone who won't let AIPAC, real estate developers, and corporate PACs dictate how hard we fight back. Today, I'm launching my campaign for Congress in NY-13 with the Justice Dems' support. I've obviously interviewed you in the past as well, DSA Slate.
Shout out DSA?
Yeah, shout out DSA New York City DSA. But let's take a look at this.
Is how change begins. It doesn't roll in on the wheels of inevitability. We have to make it happen.
Because overcoming the politics of the past takes action from all of us. Since I was a teenager, I've been organizing right here, on these blocks, in these streets. My work has shown me that we're at our most powerful when we act together in solidarity. As an educator, a union member, an Afro-Latina New Yorker, I know we deserve better than the status quo. As New Yorkers, we know it's not our neighbors' fault when they fall in hard times. It's the failure of our system. That's why I've been here, working to reunite families torn apart by our country's cruel immigration system. Organizing against what we all know is a genocide in Palestine. And as the daughter of immigrants, it's personal to me when ICE kidnaps my friends off our streets. All of these injustices are symptoms of our broken system. So where is our congressman when ICE is kidnapping his constituents? Why should we let Adriano Espaillat vote to spend billions on bombs overseas when we're struggling to afford rent and groceries right here in New York City? We live in the richest country in the history of the world. It's never been that our government lacks the resources to help us. It's just that the establishment lacks the courage. The politics of the past are failing us. It's time for us to take matters into our own hands. I'm Darializa Avila Chevalier, and I'm running for Congress. You deserve a member of Congress.
Damn, I thought it was ending.
No,
I thought it was gonna end.
I really did.
And then boom, it keeps
I
going.
completely forgot.
I was like, oh wow, what a banger line to end it on. No, the music, the show must go on. Okay.
Who isn't cashing checks from APAC, real estate developers, or corporations. You deserve a member of Congress who prioritizes the people, not their political career. The era of machine politics ends now. Our campaign is backed by Justice Democrats. Keep going. We had a lot to pack into 2 minutes.
That's so funny. It's like it ends now, and then the music stops.
It keeps going.
And then you're like, no, there's more. There's more. Damn.
By people just like you. For too long, we've been told that change will come tomorrow. To echo our ancestors who once stood right here, we're now faced with the fact that tomorrow is today. So join us today, because on our campaign, we're not waiting for tomorrow any longer. Okay, I think it's actually done now.
Okay, boom. All right. Darializa for Congress, everybody. All right, so you're working class Afro-Latina organizer, you're a public defense investigator, and a CUNY PhD candidate running to represent New York's 13th congressional district, as I already brought up. It's the Upper Manhattan and parts of West Bronx, including Harlem. You're a democratic socialist challenging longtime congressman, as you mentioned, Adriano Espaillat, who has had, I mean, he's one of the old guard New York Democrats, and we'll get to him in a second. You're championing affordability, immigration, labor, and America's, you're championing changing America's unwavering support for the nation state of Israel, arguing that the country's most renter-heavy districts need a representative tied less to the political machine and more to everyday working people. Espaillat has been in office since you were in the first grade.
I think I was even younger than that.
Yeah.
He's been in office for almost 30 years, and I'm 32, so.
Okay, so
Yeah.
why are you ageist?
I mean, if he were fighting, if he were actually showing up for people, we wouldn't be here.
Okay, I have his track record right in front of me. This is going to be a contentious interview. I bet you weren't expecting that. He's passed 4 sponsored bills in 9 years, 3 of which were naming and renaming post offices. You don't think that's enough for this district?
I think in 9 years, we deserve more than renamed post offices. I think the
Okay.
4th one was actually something similar. No, wasn't it
Okay.
just like another commemoration?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have that information in front of me, but okay. How about this? Espaillat champions progressive causes, but can also do both things at the same time and support ICE and fund ICE. Can you get a man who can do both?
We have that in Espaillat.
Yeah, get you a man who can do
Well,
both.
actually, he doesn't even really do the progressive part. He just says it. He says that he does it.
Well, isn't that enough?
It's just so infuriating. Like you vote for ICE funding, and then you call yourself a champion for immigrant communities. Mm-hmm. You stay completely silent when your own constituents are being kidnapped by ICE in your district, and you turn their families away, and then you claim to support immigrants. Right? It's just It's really infuriating in so many levels.
Okay.
And there are so many jokes to make on this, but it's really also sometimes hard for me because I'm just like, so many people who I know and love have been impacted by these failed policies and by his very hypocritical stances.
Okay. What about what about doing incredible fundraisers with the corporate interest, the real estate lobby, and also AIPAC?
You know, despite taking money from all those people, we still managed to outraise them. So I don't know how much of an incredible fundraiser.
Okay, that seems like you're challenging AIPAC, which is probably in here as well, watching right now.
You know?
So you don't want them opening up that wallet. You've received endorsements from shady groups like New York City Democratic Socialists of America, the UAW 9A, the Justice Democrats, the Jewish Voice for Peace, Track AIPAC, in addition, what?
Jewish Voice for Peace Action.
Jewish Voice for Peace Action, sorry. And in addition to Jamal Bowman, Claire Valdez, Jabari Brisport, and she also, are there any new endorsements that you want to leak?
Yeah, today State Senator Robert Jackson also endorsed. So
Okay.
that's so exciting.
Hell yeah. All right, so let's get started. I got a bunch of questions here. I'm gonna hit you with them in rapid succession. New York 13 is an overwhelmingly renter-dense district, with renters making up 88% of the population, yet many working-class families are being actively priced out. Or they're being forced to live in decaying NYCHA, is that how you say NYCHA? NYCHA developments with lead paint and no heat. The incumbent, Adriano Espaillat, heavily funds this campaign through the corporate real estate lobby. How do you plan to mobilize this massive renter supermajority, ones that actually was also quite impactful in Zohran Mamdani's victory as well? And does your experience as a renter shape this candidacy as well, and your approach to federal housing policy?
No, absolutely. I mean, like, I am also a renter, and I've, like so many people in New York, have had to wonder whether I can afford to stay in the city that I love. When, you know, it has become increasingly harder to find work that can keep up with the cost of living. You know, I was working towards a career in academia, and I essentially got priced out of it because this cost of living is just so high. And, you know, I think for everyone in the district, we're really feeling the squeeze when it comes to the rent. It costs $4,000 for a 2-bedroom in Harlem or Washington Heights.
Damn.
And this is like the second poorest district, not only in New York State, but by some measures in the country. So where the median income is $57K, like $4,000 a month is just insane. And that's what's considered like affordable. People are naming that affordable housing. And, you know, I think it's just, it's like the human cost of that is that people are living on the street. It's that people are moving away. I have so many friends who have moved away from uptown into either other parts of the city or to just other parts of the country because they just simply can't afford to stay.
Yeah.
And what that means too for so many elders is that who are living on a fixed income is that their rents are going up and then they have nowhere to go. That their kids are moving away and then their whole support system is gone because their kids want to raise their kids but can't afford to do it in New York.
Why do you hate mom and pop landlords who own upwards of 10,000 units in New York City that are trying to make ends meet and purchase their second yacht?
You know, because they treat our homes as though it's just like a calculation of how much money they can leech out of our communities.
Don't you know that they're working really hard to paint over all of the outlets that no longer work with the landlord special
and
white
the
paint?
The lead paint that is chipping out of it. From
lead is good, from what I understand. If you want to understand if you want to understand the mentality of Gen X, if you can't beat them, you got to join them. And it's the lead poison generation. So I say, you know,
I thought we were the microplastics generation.
We're the microplastic generation, which is making us woke and gay.
Okay.
They're the lead poison generation, which is making them unbelievably reactionary, angry all the time, and Trump supporters. So I suggest I have a healthy diet of lead paint chips that I eat
just to get on
in the morning, so I can understand the plight of the
empathy.
The plight of the Gen Xer. In the first quarter of 2026, you became the first challenger to ever outraise Espaillat, pulling in $270,000 to his $230,000, beast mode, by the way, entirely through grassroots donations. Can I hold a couple dollars? I'm in some legal trouble.
You know, You know, we're really trying to build out this grassroots campaign, and every single dollar counts, especially because we already know AIPAC is in this race. And we can beat them. I know that we can. We just need the power of the people. So if you got a couple dollars you want to throw into a campaign that's trying to take out AIPAC and corporate funded incumbent, you can support us. But also, you know, if you live in the district, if you live in New York, come out, come canvass, and that will really go a long way.
What do you think that says about the way that Espaillat has operated as a legislator, that he's so beholden to corporate interests as opposed to you being beholden to your grassroots donors?
I mean, I think it's reflective of a politic that is really where money has an outsized influence on our democracy, right? The fact that, you know, our politicians really make a lot of decisions based off of like how are they going to fundraise for their next election, right? Whether or not their donors are going to continue to give to them year after year as they run. And that is just a recipe for disaster. It means that rather than actually working for the people who vote people in, who vote their representatives in, they're working for their donors, who then come in at the last minute, like we saw in North Carolina or in Illinois, and drop millions and millions of dollars to have a really outsized influence on these elections. But more and more we're seeing actually that kind of influence in our politics is people are waking up to it, and they're tired of that, right? They know that when crypto or AI or AIPAC come into an election in the last minute and drop that millions of dollars, right? That essentially they're buying our elections away from us. And it's time that we actually have a system of accountability for our representatives so that we can make sure that they're actually accountable to working people. When we have a system of grassroots donation like that, that is a system of accountability, because we're saying we are accountable to the donors who are on the ground every single day experiencing the things that the working people of our communities are going through.
We talked about your opponent, the incumbent, Adriano Espaillat's track record. Yes, you were right, by the way. It was 4 bills in 9 years. 3 of them were renaming post offices, and then one of them was actually a commemoration of, or one was for a commemorative historical site. That's performance.
Yeah,
that's actually performance in action.
Yeah.
So he's averaging a bill every 2 years. Will you commit to sponsoring and passing at least one bill in your first term? And if so, what's your top priority beyond naming a postal building?
Well, we have many day one priorities. One would sign on to Babies Not Bombs, the PRO Act, to make sure that we are protecting and strengthening unions.
What if I like bombs over babies because babies cry all the time? I bet you weren't expecting that question. That's right.
I think we really need to shift from the politics of death, but, all the things that, like, babies need in our communities.
Have you ever met a baby that has bad vibes?
No, actually.
What about
I love
babies? What about baby Hitler?
You will never... Listen, babies are just the purest souls, and everything else that comes after that, it's because of our flawed systems. And I truly, truly believe that if we actually invest in our communities, invest in our kids, we will be creating a future that's actually reflective of those values.
You dodged that question expertly. This is real political skill in
I'm not
action.
dodging. That's my actual belief.
You're also moving away from the camera
I'm sorry.
bit.
I'll move back.
No, it's all good. Yeah, this is not a very professional setup. I am, however, a very professional interviewer, as you've probably taken note of. So one of the questions I ask every politician, every candidate that comes on is the Zoran method, a way to define themselves and not let their opposition define them. Zoran was defined by 5 key policies. What are your 5 key policies that you want to be defined by?
Yeah, so we are fighting to win housing for all, to abolish ICE, and to invest in our babies, not bombs. We are so tired of our tax dollars going towards things like ICE, towards wars abroad that seem to never end, towards genocide, right? When we live in the second poorest congressional district and never see the fruits of our work and the fruits of the taxes that we pay. And we deserve to have those taxes come back into our communities and actually invest in them.
Okay, that's 3. I need 2 more from you. What are some two additional priorities?
We gotta do 5. Medicare for all, and strengthening unions and building union power. So,
okay.
PRO Act.
All right. Your campaign has gained a lot of traction recently, and the New York Post is now starting to publish your shitposts as opposition research. 2 days ago, they dropped an article titled, Ex-Mamdani campaign lead running for Congress has a history, trigger warning, of racist remarks against white people. Why do you hate white people?
Do you want to read the tweet? Because it was...
I want to...
I wouldn't characterize it as that.
As someone
okay.
as someone who has in the past been banned from this platform, Twitch.tv, that's where you're on right now, for calling someone a C-word ass bitch, cracker ass bitch. That's what I said, and I was banned from this platform for 7 days for anti-white racism. I've been reformed. And that's the reason why I'm holding your feet to the fire right now.
You know,
let's take a look at your tweet. Guys, once again, I'm going to issue a trigger warning.
I think that the New York Post spending so much time on this and not once reporting what we're actually fighting for is just like more of the same, that of like ignoring the needs of the people uptown in the Bronx. You know, I was basically what they're saying here is that I was a millennial with access to the internet. That's all there. That's the breaking news here, and I think there are just so many other things that people in the Bronx and uptown really need from our community and from our leadership. And like, this is just not journalism. I'm sorry.
It's very funny.
Sorry. I don't know what to say.
I mean, this is good. This is good. Wait, you got more.
Oh, gosh.
I held the door open for this old white lady at Popeyes.
I'm polite to my elders.
Is that a BDS shirt? Me, yes. Her, you know what they do to door closed before I could find out what they do. Sad. So this doesn't even make sense because you didn't even say anything.
I said yes.
It just shows that you were nice to an old white lady. What is that? That says this is bad reporting. This shows the opposite of
They
what
also
they are
keep getting my
intending.
name wrong, which I'm like, they keep saying Chevalier. It's Avila Chevalier.
Ah, okay. Chevalier claims she converted to Islam 3 years ago at March 6th speech at the Al-Khoi Islamic Center in Queens, headed by oh God. Wait, you've converted to Islam, or you've reverted? Oh,
I
mashallah. Okay. Well, I'm a very bad Muslim, so I will get that out of the way.
Well, we didn't say our salams
Yeah.
So, salam alaikum belatedly.
Alaikum salam. So, do you feel do you feel bad that you opened the door for an old white racist lady? Do you disavow your past actions of holding a door open for an old white?
I was trying to be so nice, and now it's memorialized in a New York Post article. And, you know.
What if the old white racist lady that you opened the door for went in there to say slurs to other people? Would that change your perspective?
How would I have known that, Hasan?
I'm just saying.
I would have not known that.
Sometimes we should think twice before we open the door. Before we open the door.
Through the world with good intentions, but maybe I'm just too.
Yeah. Yeah,
naive.
bet you didn't know this was gonna be a contentious. This is gotcha journalism.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you were like, oh, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be nice. We're gonna be raising some funds. No.
Oh man. No, I was trying. I was literally, when I see an elder, they're right behind me. What am I gonna do? I'm not gonna let the door slam in their face.
I never do that. I slam it in their face. I just assume I'm anti-white racist and also ageist. So I just slammed the door in front of them on purpose. Okay. In March 2025, your constituent and personal friend from Columbia University, Mahmoud Khalil, was arrested by plainclothes ICE agents at his residence, while lawmakers like Rashida Tlaib immediately signed letters demanding his unconditional release from the Louisiana Detention Center. Espaillat issued a weak statement, merely stating he expected the DOJ to work within the confines of the law. What do you think that says about Espaillat being a fighter for his constituents?
I mean, the statement itself, to be clear, was 2 sentences, and it's just a ridiculous notion that, you know, to ask that the DOJ, Trump's DOJ, to be clear, work within the confines of the law, which they were actively not doing by taking him to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Like they were violating his rights from the start. And for that to be all he had to say about this, the fact that he turned away his family, turned away our friends when they went to speak to him. I've been living and organizing here for my entire adult life, and not once has his office met with me on any issue, even beyond Israel-Palestine. Not a single issue. And the fact that, you know, for so many of us organizers, like, that has been just the norm, I think is so telling. And he, you know, is someone who really boasts being, you know, a Dominican immigrant who, you know, is like the first undocumented. And then the moment that you see a very high profile immigration case happening in his district, he's nowhere to be found.
He even brings it up. He's like, regarding the case of Mohammed Khalil, a constituent who lives in my district, my office has been following this case closely, and as a former green card holder, I expect the Department of Justice to work within the confines of the law and that due process is guaranteed to him and his family. The rule of law must be respected. This is literally, I'm sorry to say this, Dominican Chuck Schumer. Like, this statement is basically Chuck Schumer. He's just like, you know, I don't want to say he's a terrorist because he's my constituent, but, like, you know, I hope they prosecute him adequately.
It's, like, actually insane that he would say this and then do absolutely nothing more. And, like, this is the chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. For him not to have the foresight to understand what this would mean for millions of people across the country is just, like, is insane. Like, here is a green card holder who was taken by ICE illegally. Do you not think that's going to have an impact on every green card holder across the country? Also, this is a First Amendment right issue.
And then
that's going to have an impact on literally every single person.
They put more emphasis onto his background than his actual comments. Like, this is supposed to be a top issue. And I mean, where do you think that comes from, though? Because, like, you're talking about how, like, you've tried as a constituent to, like, you know, talk to him. His constituent service has been lacking on this area. Even though it's supposed to be an issue that he, like, understands intimately, given his background. Like, where do you think that comes from? Is it fear? Is it the idea that if you become a fighter on this kind of issue, then you're sticking your neck out too much? Like, what does that say about Espaillat?
I mean, I think it's all of the above. I think it's the fact that he doesn't actually have a real understanding of the connection between, you know, these issues and how they impact people across the country. The fact that, you know, Trump had already said that Mahmoud was the blueprint for how they would engage in immigration enforcement across the country. And 8 days later, 200 Venezuelan migrants were deported to a concentration camp in El Salvador. Like, the fact that he doesn't have just the most basic understanding of how this administration operates, how the immigration system operates, the fact that he is so unwilling to fight for Mahmoud because he was Palestinian. Because at the core of this is that he saw someone who was advocating for the human rights of Palestinian people, and as a Palestinian man, facing the consequences of Trump's backlash on that, you know, he was just unwilling to stand up for him. And he said, damn the consequences of this on literally everybody else in U.S. soil. Yeah. And so, you know, it's a lack of moral courage, but it's also a lack of clarity on the moment that we're in. And he's just not meeting this moment on any issue. He really, when I say he's more interested in supporting his donors, I mean that because he's taking money from the same corporations and contractors that profit from ICE detention, that profit from the collaboration between ICE and, you know, Israeli apartheid. And, like, this is all, like, interconnected, right? The same institutions that are profiting from this are then going to all of our establishment politicians, Republicans and Democrats alike, and paying them essentially to stay quiet on the issues that most impact us here at home.
You've a long history of organizing with Families for Freedom and actively fighting against family separations, including successfully leading the defense of Abdikadir Mohamed, who was detained for 18 months under the Trump administration's travel restrictions. How has this direct experience with the machine, with the immigration system, informed your approach to immigration reform? And do you support communities actively tracking ICE to protect their neighbors?
Yeah, no, I think, you know, this is a moment where ICE has always been terrible, right? It's always been terrible for our communities, and we've lived in a world.
What if they called it NICE? The National Immigration Customs and Enforcement.
I don't think that will do much on a.
Damn it. Okay. Well, let's keep going. Sorry to cut away at your
Don't worry.
serious conversation about your long background in advocacy in this space. I thought that would have worked.
No, I think a lot of the solutions, but I think you're speaking to something else that's actually a much deeper issue, is that a lot of the solutions that we propose around immigration seem to be just like Band-Aid. Like, let's add this one thing that will maybe like stop the water from flooding the ship that we're in, right?
Yeah.
What really needs to happen is we really need to pull back on a lot of these really horrible bills, right? A lot of these horrible pieces of legislation that have made it really difficult to actually fight for immigrant communities. And so, I've been organizing, for a really long time with folks who are in ICE detention, organizing with with families of folks who are in ICE detention. So, when Mahmoud's situation happened, there was the initial shock of it happening to somebody that I knew, but then there was also like a moment where like my brain just like clicked into like organizer mode, and I kind of just knew like what were the next steps, right? And that was making sure people knew about this, writing the op-eds, getting the word out, right? Making sure that we were organizing the direct actions of civil disobedience, that we were showing up for court support and showing like that he has a community that cares about him, right? And doing so for every single one of the other students and activists who had been taken up in that sweep. And, with the other folks whose cases I'd worked on, like those were really tough cases. Because I think for so long, people just kind of accepted ICE as just like something that was there. I think part of why we're able to talk about it in the way that we do now is because people are waking up to how it's being used, right?
Yeah. And community organizing and community defense against ICE, like specifically tracking ICE, has been very successful in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I just wanted to ask you once again, like if you're in favor of doing that.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of community organizations that are taking a number of measures to keep our immigrant community safe. That is one of them. And I think, the way that folks are coming together to, let each other know when ICE is like seen in the neighborhood, right? Making sure that we are protecting one another. Our institutions have failed us so terribly that it's really incumbent on our communities to come out for one another. But that's also why I'm doing this now and running for office, because I keep thinking back to that day when I learned that he had been taken. And I keep thinking, like, what would it have meant to Mahmoud and to Noor and to our entire community, right, to have had a representative who was actually willing to fight for him from the moment they learned that it happened.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Espaillat's position has evolved over time on this issue, on the issue of ICE. It took ICE killing 2 American citizens for Adriano Espaillat to call for the dismantling of the agency, not abolition. Now, you've, of course, long supported the abolition of ICE. What is your takeaway from that, though? Like the fact that it takes such a heinous crime in the hands of this unaccountable force, and not the heinous crime of kidnapping one of his constituents that caused him to move on this issue when seemingly it's safe, and yet still not take the bold transformational advocacy necessary to really improve American society.
Yeah, I mean, I think it speaks to what we've been saying, that he really is someone who operates under a framework of seat at the table politics, right? Like, he just wants a seat at the table, and not to actually fight for the issues that impact us. I remember seeing, I don't want to misquote here, but I remember seeing something where he was shifting because now 51% of Americans, including Republicans or something like that. And I was like, why does it take a poll that includes the very folks who have been advocating for this, right, for him to shift on this? And when his base has been, when the Democrats have been so clear around how we feel about ICE.
Have those folks, including your neighbors that are underserved, thought about grinding extra hard so they can have disposable income to give Adriano Espaillat money? I
will tell them to find some time between their second and third job to
I'm just
to
saying.
make a little more.
Okay, picture this. Okay, you're a nurse. You're working shift after shift. You recently got a new contract, so at least there's a little bit more money.
That's
in your
because
pocket.
they stayed 6 weeks out in the cold.
Yeah, they
I
were
know
greedy.
that.
They were greedy. You're right. They were very greedy, and they were like, "Please hire more nurses and give us a little bit more money. It's very difficult to survive in these conditions," which I say is greedy. That's the opposite of Sigmar Grind said. Okay, but what if that nurse, instead of going home and sleeping, decided to take on an Uber job, just so with that disposable income, they could give Adriano Espaillat money, so that he would be more receptive to their needs. Have you thought about that?
I haven't, actually.
Okay. Well,
Well, we'll go talk to some of the nurses out in the picket lines.
okay, because it
Ask them
seems
how
like
they feel about that.
it seems like in order to change the system, you've decided to run against Adriano Espaillat, and I feel like you could have just bribed him. It seems like he's really into that.
I do not have enough money to bribe that man. And I just think also, like, really, this is so reflective of how we get priced out of our own democracy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what is the point of having a democracy if corporations are just going to swoop in the last minute and pay millions of dollars to buy it?
On the issue of ICE, I want to ask you, this is something I ask other candidates as well. Now the litmus has become like abolish ICE, and that's great, but I feel like we need to go further beyond that. I think we need to prosecute ICE and hold ICE accountable. So are you in favor of that as well?
I definitely think that we need to have a very long and hard conversation around accountability, because I think we have to think about the larger structures here around how we even got to this moment in the first place. And part of that has to do with the fact that we have completely gutted all of the federal programs that make it possible for people to find good, dignified jobs, to get quality education. There are so many failures of our system that have brought us to this moment politically. And I think accountability is at the heart of that, for sure.
We're gonna also move to get to the next location right now. So I think, are you ready? Yeah. So we'll break down because we got to use that one camera. I'm broke. I only have one camera, unfortunately, as a broke boy. You got a gift for me?
We do have a gift for you.
Okay. What is this?
This is a T-shirt. I'm not sure if it's the right size, but you.
Okay,
Now we'll get you another.
This is a large. It's very kind of you to think.
I don't know.
It's very kind of you to think that I could fit in a large.
I wasn't sure, but we can get you another.
No, it's great. Thank you. I'll wear this and my titties will be bursting out of it. I'll rip through it.
We'll get you another one.
But thank you.
It's
So
only
you-
a warm out, so I also got you a towel.
Oh, you did. What's the?
It's another appropriate. If you're in New York, there are two things you need.
Okay.
You
What
need a
is this?
Darializa for Congress T-shirt, and you need a Knicks towel.
New York Knicks forever towel. Okay. I mean, I'm a Wemby truther, but I'm a Wemby supremacist. But it's fine. I like the Knicks
We'll
as
have
well.
a longer conversation about that one.
I like the Knicks as well. I'm in favor of the Knicks. But yeah, you can here. I'll pull out the camera.
Okay.
All right, 1 second. We'll switch over to the laptop camera, which is far worse.
I was gonna say our color tones changed completely.
Yeah, no, I was cheating it. As hold on. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll stick on this, and then you can take it out. I mean, when you pull it out, they're not gonna be able to hear us either. So I'll wait. Hold on before you.
Yeah.
Before you do that, let me swap this too, for at least the time being. While you work on that. Take off the noise gate. Increase the gain. Okay. Yeah, we should be fine like this for now. All right, and we'll continue doing it like this. Anyway, I won't ask you any of the good questions that are designed to be clippable moments while we're having this, technical break, because I feel like it's a waste. But yeah,
What's chat saying?
chat wants me to hold your feet to the fire even more. I mean,
On what?
yeah, that I don't know, just things.
I'm also,
I don't think
like-
they understand that we're in agreement on a lot of stuff.
Oh, I'm so pretty. Thank you. To whoever said I'm so pretty.
No, don't encourage them. Don't. They shouldn't. I've taught them poorly. We don't see the women's beauty here on the
That just
broadcast.
doesn't exist. Okay.
Yes, you're supposed to say I don't even know.
Okay. I don't
even
know. Okay.
We don't acknowledge that. Okay? It's messed up.
Oh,
It's messed up.
this is really funny, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you, chat. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we don't see women. We're woke. We're woke. At the Hasan Avila broadcast, we're woke.
I love
we
the
don't.
Barbie themed women.
Yeah.
It's great.
And there's also a men, which is negative.
Oh, it's what do you mean it's
Whenever I
negative?
do something like
Is it like Ken font?
no, it's like when I say something stupid like dumb or borderline misogynistic, they'll go ugh men, or when men do something negative. Yeah, see.
Let me see it. Oh, there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's a good one.
It's called the M word.
I like
yeah.
this. I like these.
Yeah.
I love that
men.
they've all decided to post it now.
Yeah.
We don't need shotgun, right?
No, I don't think we should bring. I mean, you can bring it just for safety, but I don't think we need the shotgun. Okay. And on that note, everybody, I am going to wait. Hold on. Let me call the Uber first, and then I'll leave you guys with Patrick Bet David's beautiful voice, talking about me for a brief moment while we get into the car
Not happening.
and move on.